Good evening. I want to talk a little bit more about Syria, but I also want to use quite a bit of this time to talk about double standards and hypocrisy. And I'm going to apologize to anyone who's watching this who's a big Obama fan because this is not going to portray him in a good light. But I will tell you what I'm about to say is the absolute truth. Now, if you remember when Obama became president, one of the first things that happened on the first couple days is that he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. He went to Oslo, Norway, picked up his prize plus $1 million check. But what did he do to get that Peace Prize? And the first time in history, someone was given a Peace Prize for something they said they wanted to do. It actually said in the release, said the Norwegian Nobel Committee has decided that the Nobel Peace Prize for 2009 be awarded to President Barack Obama for his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. The committee has attached special importance to Obama's vision for a world without nuclear weapons. His vision. Well, you can see behind me, I'm a musician, and I want to write the greatest song ever, so please send the Grammy to my house right now. Stupid. But you see, we're in a position right now where we have some nasty things going on that no one wants to be a part of. Obama had 4 ships over near Syria off the coast. They just sent a 5th. But you see, Great Britain has said, no, you'll do it alone. Germany has said, no, you'll do it. All of our allies, except for France, said, go it alone. France. What's France even? France is more known for surrendering than anything else. Understand, in World War II, Hitler said to France, we're coming to you next, and France surrendered before they got there. And as Germany came in, the United States went in and saved their ass on several occasions. France is coming with us. Don't know why. But you see, all of our allies have said, no, don't do it. There was a poll conducted that said 80% of Americans say, no, don't go into Syria. All of Congress, the Senate, has all said, no, don't do it. Lawmakers around the country, no, don't go. But Obama wants to go anyways. He says something really weird. And let me try to find the quote, because he said he wanted to, a decisive short strike. He thinks that he can send in a few missiles and they're going to go, oh, hey, we're sorry, we'll back down. That ain't going to happen. Russia, China, they've already said that there will be catastrophic consequences if we do that. Syria said they'll use all the weapons they have if we do that. Iran's already said that they're going to go in and attack Israel if they do that. All of these things are happening. North Korea will obviously get involved if this happens. But the president thinks he's going to lob a few missiles over and it'll all be done because you don't mess with him. Now, some people are complaining that he doesn't have, Congress hasn't voted or allowed him to do it. Technically, I said in the last video, he is the commander-in-chief. He does not need the authority to do it. But let me tell you about another president that did that. You see, everyone thinks Congress has to declare war for us to go send troops anywhere. The last time Congress declared war was in World War II. They wanted to declare war after 9/11, but weren't really sure, since it wasn't a military, it wasn't a country that attacked us, who to declare that war against. Korean War was a police action invoked by the president. The Vietnam War was a police action invoked by the president. Grenada, invoked by the president. Gulf War, both. You know, in the Kuwait, police action done by the president. Iraq, police state done by the president. Or police action, excuse me. Now, I read something today online that I thought was interesting. It says that on the 28th of this month, today's the 30th, so 2 days ago, the Department of Justice has decided to grant immunity to the Bush administration for their, and I quote, war crimes. Well, what were their war crimes, and who was charging them? Apparently it was a mother in Iraq that decided to file international war crimes against the Bush administration. And it said, let's see, in her lawsuit, she alleges this, that Richard Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, Paul Wolfowitz began planning the Iraq War in 1998 through the involvement of the Project for a New American Century. It's a Washington, D.C. nonprofit organization that advocated the military overthrow of Saddam Hussein. Once they came to power, she says that Cheney, Rumsfeld, and Wolfowitz convinced other Bush officials to invade Iraq by using 9/11 as an excuse to mislead and scare the public into supporting a war. Now, did that happen? A little bit. But Iraq was more weapons of mass destruction. Now, I know everyone says there were none, and you're right, they didn't find anyone, they went there. But what the administration did wrong was they gave them like 2 months before we ever put troops in there. In that amount of time, you can hide anything. Where did they go? I've said for years they probably went to Syria. Oh, and look who just used chemical weapons, Syria. And the last claim she made said that she claims that the United States failed to obtain United Nations approval prior to the invasion, rendering the invasion illegal and an act of impermissible aggression. That is the one that the international community said, that's it. That makes it a war crime. That they did not get the permission of the United Nations. And since they didn't, it became an illegal and an impermissible aggression. So Obama is still talking about going in. But will he get UN approval? No. They haven't voted yet, but I guarantee no. How do I know? Well, there are 3 countries that have veto power. That means they're members of the United Nations, and if at any time they say no, the whole thing is done. One of those countries is the United States. The other 2, Russia and China. You know they're coming. You know they're going to be the ones to say no. But our president wants to do it anyway. So let me ask you a question. What's the difference between what he's doing and what Bush did that they called war crimes? If you remember, everyone was screaming and yelling, war crimes, war crimes. Aren't we doing the exact same thing right now? On Wednesday, 2 days ago, Harry Belafonte. You remember the guy, Daylight Coming, We Want to Go Home? You know, that guy, that singer? Yeah. And he's an actor. He was on MSNBC talking to Al Sharpton, and he said, and I quote, that President Obama, let's see, the only thing left for Barack Obama to do is to work like a third world dictator and put all these guys in jail. Who are all these guys? The Republican Party. It's exactly what he said. He said he feels President Obama needs to work like a third world dictator and put every member of the GOP in jail for opposing his views. War crimes. Isn't that amazing? But yet here we are, we're still planning on going. He still says, well, a shot across the bow. I believe it's going to invoke World War III. A lot of people do. I said before, 80% of the American people are opposed to this. The Congress and the Senate has said no. All of our allies, except for France, has said no. And let's be honest, what the hell is France going to do? Watch our gear while we go fight? But this is ridiculous. It is time to stop. I was reminded of something yesterday, and it really hit the point at home. Countries like these, like Syria, can kill tens of thousands of people, and no one bats an eye. Yet 100 people died from chemical weapons, and we're ready to start World War III. I don't get it. If you look at Obama's record, if you remember when he was candidate Obama, And he had all these promises about all these great things he's going to do. I was going to share with you the list of the campaign promises that he broke. This is no lie. If I have to, I can prove it. I didn't print it up because it was 6 pages long. 6 pages long of campaign promises that he broke. Remember the one about the White House being more transparent than anything? Or he would never sign a law unless it was online for 5 days so the American people can look at it and leave comments. Those never happened. That there would be a private option on his health care to where you wouldn't lose your doctor or lose your health insurance, but that stuff's happening. Companies are shutting their doors left and right. Companies are laying off workers and making them part-time left and right because of this man's decisions. Now, he wants to do the exact very thing that he and other Democrats have called war crimes. If you remember, if you even look it up on YouTube, him and his Vice President Joe Biden were both very critical that President Bush went to war in Iraq without their consent. As a matter of fact, I found something funny. There's a YouTube clip where President Obama says well, President Bush didn't come to us in Congress and get our authorization, which is hilarious to me because Obama was never a congressman, he was a senator. I'm sure it was just a slip of the tongue. But they went after this guy and called him a war criminal, a terrorist, and that he was worse than the terrorist we were fighting. Yet here he is making the exact same decision. I believe that's hypocrisy. You see, I hate both parties. I think the Republicans are all crooks. I think the Democrats are all crooks. I can't wait. This one's going to get me in trouble. I can't wait for the revolution where we take our country back. Or I can't wait for somebody to step in with the balls to say there's too much crap going on. That our leaders, our so-called leaders, are getting away with so much. Most of them are felons and they don't get charged for it. Tax fraud, tax evasion, hell, murderers. You better believe it. Granted, Ted Kennedy's not around anymore, but really? Him and his secretary crash their car into a river, she dies, and he goes home? I mean, come on. Politics has been dirty for years and years and years, and it always will be. But something needs to change with this one because it is being taken over. And someday, President Obama might sit there and take the advice of Harry Belafonte and become that third world dictator and just start jailing people. He's getting ready to embark on a war that we don't need. A war that'll be dangerous for all of us. No one wants this. For some reason except for him. He wants this war. You know, the guy who got the Nobel Peace Prize for saying he didn't want wars, that he wanted more diplomatic approaches. His vision got him the award, and he has yet to live up to any of those visions that got him that award. Will he return it? No. He doesn't care about anyone else but himself. The man's power hungry. And it's not just him. It's all of them up on Capitol Hill. So here we are on the brink of this. Do we go, don't we? Well, like I said, the other day we had 4 warships off the coast. A 5th one is now on its way, which means he's gearing up. Our warplanes are still going there. They're on the ground. They're already there. What's about to happen? If he doesn't back down, we're all in trouble. So for all of you that have been Obama's the greatest thing since sliced bread and George Bush is a war criminal, pull the partisan politics out of your head. Look at it in black and white in each situation and realize he's no better than anyone else. As a matter of fact, he could be worse. We're now at $16 trillion in debt, and we're about to embark on a war that no one except for him wants. Gotta love our country.